Going to the store with my mom may have prevented her from getting kidnapped. This happened a couple of years ago when I was a senior in high school living in southern CA. It was later in the evening, sometime between 8 to 8:30, and my mom and I had just gotten home from a long day of driving and visiting family to discover that our cat was completely out of food. I was tired of being in the car by then and did not want to go to Petco to get cat food. My mom begged me to go with her, so I finally caved and said yes. Looking back now, I am so grateful that I did, because if I hadn't decided to go, I think there's a good chance my mom would have never came home. Another important detail I want to mention is that the windows on the car my mom had were extremely tinted, making it pretty much impossible to see into the car. So we pull into the parking lot of Petco and I look around and notice there's only a few other cars, with one parked a few rows to the back of us. My mum says I can wait in the car since she's just going in real quick to pick up food. A minute after my mum walks out of the car and is halfway to the store, the car that was parked a few rows back pulls up in the spot right next to our car on the passenger side. I think it's a little strange, but think maybe the person wanted a closer spot to the store. A man steps out of the car and gets his big German Shepherd out of the back of his car and walks into the store. I'm looking inside the store and notice this guy is watching my mom and following her around, but not enough for her to notice. He gets ahead of her in line, and after he checks out, he stands outside the entrance and is watching her check out. My mom walks out of the store and the guy starts walking behind her. At this point, I'm starting to get a really bad feeling and I'm very creeped out. When my mom makes it back to our car, she opens the back to put the cat food in, and the guy opens the back of his car right next to ours and starts talking to her and motioning for her to come look at something in the back of his car. My mom, being completely oblivious, takes a few steps over and is looking into the back of his car. His hands start to move towards his waist, and I immediately start yelling for her to get into our car right now. The guy looks super shocked, as I'm guessing he never saw me in the car, and stops talking to her. My mom looks very confused, but after I yell at her some more to get into the car, she finally does. The creepy guy immediately gets into his car and drives off in a hurry. When my mum gets into the car, I ask her what that guy was saying to her, and she tells me he was telling her to look at something he got for his dog that was in the back of his car. I tell her everything I observed and that I'm pretty sure he was trying to abduct her.